And now we move to the next news video, and that is starting with the opening of WrestleMania Night 1 has been announced as John Cena will collide with Austin Theory in one of the more anticipated matchups on the WrestleMania card in the opening contest of WrestleMania for the United States Championship. It is not surprising that Cena would open the show with Theory because of the mainstream appeal that John Cena has. If he is the first person people see opening WrestleMania, it would definitely get people's attention because it's John freaking Cena. The fact of the matter is, though, I don't know if this means that they will go shock and awe like they did a few years ago with Brock opening WrestleMania against Seth Rollins in the world title match that they opened the show with a few years ago, I believe at WrestleMania 35. Could they go shock and awe and have Cena lose the opening match of WrestleMania against Theory? I think one way or the other, this is not the last match we see Cena against Theory. I think if Cena wins, Theory against Cena at SummerSlam. I think if Cena loses, Theory against Cena at SummerSlam. Either way, do I think, in all honest truth, do I think that Theory is ready to defeat somebody like John Cena? I think in post Roman Reigns WWE, Theory is in a position where he could be a top star. I'm not saying that when Roman drops the title, he's done and leaving WWE. I'm saying post WWE with Roman as Universal Champion, there's more room for people like Theory, people like Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and others to be featured in the main event because they're gonna go back to having 2 world titles. So I think, yes, Theory could be a featured star. I just don't know if right now Theory is ready to be at the top of the card. But WrestleMania will give us an indication and see how good the opening match of WrestleMania will be. But either way, we now know the opening match of WrestleMania Night 1 will be John Cena versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. Speaking of WrestleMania, though, we have the match that we've been waiting for. Rey Mysterio versus his son Dominic was announced last night on SmackDown. Rey versus Dominic at WrestleMania with Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, Zelina Vega, and I forget the other guy. I forget the other guy's name because it's not what it is in WWE in this game. Because they changed. He's one of the people that they had changed his name. So his name is escaping me. So if you can help me with that, let me know down in the comments section. But they're going to be at ringside for Rey, and it's very likely that Damian Priest and at least Damian Priest will probably be at ringside for Dominic. Maybe all of. I would say more than likely if Rey versus Dominic happens at on night 2, and let's say Finn Balor versus Edge happens on night 1, that maybe Finn Balor will be at ringside with Damian Priest. But if Rey versus Dominic happens night 1, then Rhea Ripley's not going to be at ringside, because why would Rhea Ripley distract herself from her women's title match to manage Dominic? And it also depends on when Finn fights Edge. So I could see at least Damian Priest being at ringside, because right now Damian Priest is the only member of the Judgment Day without a match at WrestleMania. But he'll still be featured because you got to have somebody at ringside with Dominic. Because otherwise it doesn't make sense to have Legado del Fantasma at ringside. But also, if you want to shift gears, WWE is said to be unhappy with the recent crowd reactions at NXT's house shows. And I think it's like they said in the Cultaholic news video that I watched, that the likely reason why the crowd reaction may not be as hyped as it is because they're used to it. That if WWE went elsewhere, even to other places in Florida, Like, even if they didn't want to travel, worldwide or nationwide, and they just wanted to travel elsewhere in Florida, that would be enough. That would be enough, because at least you would give different audiences the opportunity to see the cards. But also after WrestleMania, something I think that is worth thinking about is knocking down some people that are named talent on the main roster to NXT, or sending named talent down to NXT, and then running live events elsewhere, or live editions of NXT tapings elsewhere, like they used to before the pandemic. Like talent that aren't being used on the main roster to their fullest potential. Knock them down to the main roster, and knock them down to NXT for a run, and have it be where they can help boost ticket sales. I'm not saying like Gunther, have him go down and help, or this guy or that guy. I'm saying maybe like a Gargano, have Gargano have a run, or Dexter Lumis, have Dexter Lumis have a run. Can you imagine Dexter Lumis against somebody like Grayson Waller? Or I go back with Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler could have a run down in NXT. I wish, it's a shame that R-Truth got injured when he did. Otherwise, because R-Truth having a run at NXT would have been perfect. Tozawa, having Tozawa go down and have a run. Or sign a veteran like they used to. Sign a veteran like they used to, with guys like Samoa Joe and Robert Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura. Hell, what the hell is Shinsuke doing? Have Shinsuke go down there and have him have a run. Just put people down there that could boost ticket sales, and then go elsewhere around Florida. Just go around Florida, and have it be where you have, you're giving other audiences the opportunity to see NXT live, but also WWE went to every possible NXT star and made sure to tell them to have family and friends come to the shows. Because it makes it fills out the crowd. It's a production tool. That's what WWE's done with every developmental they've had from time to time. And they used to have developmental talent in the audience. They used to have developmental talent in the audience when, in OVW, but it's nothing out of the ordinary for WWE to have that be the case. And it's just the fact that I think the fans are a little tired of seeing the same people, and that NXT is in desperate need of a shakeup. NXT's in desperate need of a shakeup. Maybe another big star like Dragon Lee. Maybe bringing in, spotlighting talent that aren't the stable, consistent stars that they've been spotlighting over the last couple of months or the last couple of years. Because also, where has Braun Breaker been since the start of NXT 2.0? Right from the outset, Braun Breaker was the top star of NXT when the rebranding took place. He was the top star. He was the top guy from the very beginning of NXT 2.0. So that is very likely the reason that if you're in that crowd every week and you're seeing the same guy for 2 years be the top star of that brand, you get tired of it. And it's very common, and it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. So I do hope that WWE does something to shake up, that WWE does do something to shake up NXT in the post-WrestleMania time, because that's, in my opinion, much like Rampage needs an identity. NXT needs one too. But also, before we end this news video and shift over to the CM Punk updates, we have to talk about Mickie James. As I mentioned in a late news video yesterday, that Mickie James was set to vacate the Impact Wrestling Knockouts Championship, and that is in fact the case, as Mickie James has broken ribs. Mickey James has broken ribs and is not medically cleared to compete. But there is an announced match now for the multiverse of matches, as Deonna Purrazzo, Giselle Shaw, Masha Slamovich, and Miyu Yamashita will compete, where the winner will compete against Jordynne Grace at Impact Wrestling's next pay-per-view on April the 16th, that being Rebellion. And if Mickie James is medically cleared by Rebellion, then it will be a triple threat for the Knockouts Championship. But right now, the title is not vacated. Right now, the title is not vacated, but if Mickie James is not cleared by April 16th, then the title will be held up, and a new champion will be crowned, that being between Jordynne Grace and the winner of the Fatal 4-Way, Deonna Purrazzo, Giselle Shaw, Masha Slamovich, and Miyu Yamashita, where the winner of that match will either way go into the match at Rebellion against Jordynne Grace. It is just a question of if Mickie James will be medically cleared, if she will be in that match, making it a triple threat or making it a singles match. Either way, that match on April 16th will be for the Impact Wrestling Knockouts Championship. And also, just to quickly run down, the Multiverse United, the joint show between New Japan and Impact Wrestling, as a part of WrestleCon on March 30th, the opening of, in my opinion, the events of WrestleMania weekend, with Mike Bailey against Hiroshi Tanahashi. Initially, it was supposed to be Mike Bailey against Will Ospreay, but Will Ospreay has a severe enough shoulder injury that he will not be a part of the event and had to be replaced. Jeff Cobb against Moose, which should be a hard-hitting affair between two Hosses. Trey Miguel will defend his X Division Championship in a six-way scramble against Clark Connors, Frankie Kazarian, Kevin Knight, Rich Swann, and Rocky Romero, which should be an interesting affair, as the X Division always never fails to disappoint. Kenta will defend his strong openweight championship against Minoru Suzuki, which I always love seeing Minoru Suzuki, so that should be a fun matchup. A four-way tag team match for the Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Championships, which is a match we've spoken about before, as Bullet Club, Chris Bay and Ace Austin defend against Aussie Open. Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher, who are also challenging for the Ring of Honor tag team titles, the following day in a five-way ladder match at Supercard of Honor. The Motor City Machine Guns, Shelly and Sabin, and TMDK, the Bad Dude Tito and Shane Haste fill out the four-way tag team match. And then an eight-man tag, Alex Coughlin, Sammy Callahan, and Fred Rosser and PCO against Eddie Edwards, Joe Henry, JR Kratos, and Tom Lawler fill out the eight-man tag. And then, of course, the four-way where the winner is added to the Knockouts Championship match at Rebellion. But that is the Multiverse United, Only the Strong Survive, set to take place at the Globe Theater in Los Angeles on March 30th, as a part of WrestleCon. It is the joint show between Impact Wrestling and New Japan. But with that being said, we got more news to get to, so let's end this now and shuffle over to the next news video.